In 2020, in the ancient, honey-colored stone city of Midyat in southeastern Turkey, a team of workers was carrying out a routine historical cleanup and restoration project. While clearing rubble from the cellar of a century-old house, a mason noticed a loose stone in the foundation. Thinking it was just a simple repair, he pried it free. But behind it was not solid earth. It was a pocket of stale, ancient air and a darkness that seemed to swallow the light. He had just stumbled upon a hidden passage. This single, accidental discovery would launch an archaeological investigation that would reveal a breathtaking secret that had been hiding beneath the city streets for nearly 2,000 years. A lost, sprawling, and completely unknown underground city, a massive refuge large enough to shelter up to 70,000 people. To understand the world that built this hidden city, we must first journey to the place where it was found. The city of Midyat is located in Mardin province, a region of southeastern Turkey with a history as old as civilization itself. It is a land of rolling hills and limestone plateaus, part of ancient Mesopotamia. The city of Midyat is a labyrinth of beautiful old stone houses, churches, and monasteries, all carved from the local light-colored limestone. For thousands of years, this region, known historically as Tur Abdin, which means the Mountain of the Servants of God, was a vibrant heartland for Syriac Orthodox Christianity. It was a place of deep faith, scholarship, and rich multicultural history where different religions and cultures coexisted. But this history has also been one of immense struggle and persecution. We must now travel further back in time to the 2nd and 3rd centuries A.D. At that time, this region was a province on the turbulent eastern frontier of the mighty Roman Empire. The official religion of the empire was the worship of the Roman gods and the deified emperor. But a new, monotheistic faith was spreading rapidly through the empire, Christianity. The Roman authorities saw this new religion, with its refusal to worship the Roman gods, as a direct threat to the stability and unity of the state. This led to periods of brutal, state-sanctioned persecution. Under emperors like Diocletian, Christians were hunted, their churches were destroyed, and they were forced to either renounce their faith or face a martyr's death. For these early Christian communities, survival often meant disappearance. They were forced to go underground, both literally and figuratively, creating secret networks of catacombs and hidden refuges where they could worship in secret and protect their families from the Roman legions. It was this desperate need for a sanctuary, a place to be both together and unseen, that would transform the simple cellars beneath Midyat into a sprawling, subterranean city. Our story returns to the year 2020. A major project was underway in Midyat to clean and conserve its historic streets and stone houses. A team was working in the cellar of one of these ancient homes. A worker, while clearing debris, noticed a wide crack in the cellar wall. He pushed against it, and the stones shifted, revealing a dark, cave-like opening. He called over his foreman, who in turn called the director of the local Mardin Museum and the head of the preservation team, a man named Gani Tarkan. Tarkan and his team of archaeologists arrived at the scene, their curiosity piqued. The cellars and caves beneath Midyat were well known. For centuries, local families had used them as cool storage spaces, or sards, for food and wine. But this opening seemed different. It was not on any known map of the city's cellars. With powerful flashlights, the first members of the team carefully squeezed through the opening. They found themselves in a narrow, man-made tunnel, its walls smooth to the touch. It was not a natural cave. The tunnel led them to a small, circular chamber. As their light scanned the room, they saw other passages, branching off in multiple directions into the darkness. They followed one of these passages. It twisted and turned, and then opened up into another, larger chamber. It was then that they began to understand. This was not a simple cellar. This was an interconnected network of rooms and tunnels. As they explored further, they found artifacts that confirmed their theory, fragments of ancient pottery and small niches carved into the walls for oil lamps. But the most significant find was on the wall of one of the larger chambers. It was a symbol, a simple carving in the rock. It was a Christian symbol, a quiet but powerful testament to the faith of the people who had built this place. The team realized, with a jolt of excitement, that they had just stepped into a massive, lost catacomb, a hidden refuge built by a persecuted people, but they had no idea yet of its true city-like scale or the vastness of the world that was waiting for them in the darkness below. The discovery of the Christian symbol confirmed that they were in a place of refuge, but the sheer number of branching corridors suggested a scale far beyond a simple catacomb. The team of archaeologists, led by Gani Tarkin, realized they were on the cusp of a major discovery. The exploration began in earnest. The work was slow, difficult, and sometimes dangerous. They had to navigate narrow, claustrophobic tunnels and vast, dark chambers, all while ensuring that their work did not destabilize the ancient stone houses of the living city of Midyat directly above their heads. They used a classic and ingenious technique to map the hidden city. They followed the air. By holding a lit candle or a fine powder near small cracks, they could see which way the faint air current was moving, a sure sign of a larger chamber or another level of the complex. As they pushed deeper, the full, incredible picture of this subterranean world began to unfurl like a tightly folded map. Room after room was revealed. They found small, private living chambers, some with benches carved along the walls. They found larger, communal gathering rooms. They discovered a room with a series of deep, circular pits cut directly into the rock floor, some still with their heavy stone lids nearby. These were silos designed for the long-term storage of grain like wheat and barley, a clear sign that the inhabitants were prepared for a very long siege. They found another large chamber with a stone press likely used for making wine or pressing oil, and everywhere they found the humble crumbs of daily life, fragments of pottery, iron nails, and dozens of small clay oil lamps that had once pushed back against the eternal darkness of the underground. But it was the discovery of the places of worship that told the most powerful story. In one of the larger, more central chambers, they found what was unmistakably a Christian church, complete with a small, carved apse. But that wasn't all. In another section of the complex, the team found a chamber with a different, equally powerful symbol carved into the wall, a large, unmistakable Star of David. This suggested that the underground city, which was now being identified by its ancient Syriac name, Matiate, was not just a refuge for one community. It was a multi-faith sanctuary, a place where Christians and likely Jews had sought shelter together from the same Roman persecution. It was a testament to a time of shared suffering and mutual survival, a story that had been completely lost to history. The team continued to map chamber after chamber, corridor after corridor. After 2 years of continuous work, they had fully cleared and documented 49 distinct rooms, but the tunnels just kept going, branching off into the darkness in all directions. Using ground-penetrating radar and their knowledge of the cave's ventilation system, they began to create a theoretical map of the city's full extent, and the results were staggering. The archaeologists now estimate that what they have uncovered so far represents less than 5% of the entire complex. They believe that the city of Matiate sprawls for over 4 million square feet on multiple levels, stretching beneath the entire old quarter of Midyat and beyond. Based on this immense size, they estimate that the lost city was large enough to be a permanent, self-sustaining home for 60 to 70,000 people. This single fact elevates the discovery into a new category. This was not a temporary hideout. This was a parallel city, a second, secret version of Midyat, designed to allow an entire population to vanish from the surface world and survive for months or perhaps even years at a time. The discovery of Matiate is a profound and humbling one. It is a testament to the incredible ingenuity and resilience of ancient peoples who, faced with annihilation, chose not to fight a battle they couldn't win, but to build an entirely new world, a world of darkness and safety, deep within the earth. The work at Matiate is still in its infancy. The decades-long process of fully excavating and understanding this lost world has only just begun. The other 95% of the city still holds its secrets, a vast, unexplored territory of tunnels and chambers that could contain more artifacts, more places of worship, and perhaps even the tombs of the people who lived and died there. The story of the mason who moved a single, loose stone in a cellar is a powerful reminder that history is not a closed book. It is a living landscape, and sometimes the greatest and most unbelievable secrets are not in a distant jungle or at the bottom of the sea, but are waiting silently just beneath our feet for one person to notice that a stone is out of place.